Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. I'm your host, Quinn Pettifer, and my full-time gig is Manager of Brand Initiatives for the Gazette. One of my favorite parts of that role is the ability to work with our area nonprofits through a program called Gazette Gives Back. And this is an annual program. We have 31 nonprofits that we work with to provide free advertising, give them a chance to network, attend workshops together, and get to participate in this fabulous podcast where we get to dive a little deeper. And today I get to chat with my friend Jenny Bosking with the ARC of East Central Iowa. Jenny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having us, and thank you to the Gazette for providing so many nonprofits with the Gazette Gives Back program. We're really grateful.
It's the favorite piece of what I do. So I'm very excited to get to talk to you about the ARC. You are just coming down, you and your team are just coming down from a really successful ARC march that just took place. Do you want to, let's just talk about what is the mission of the ARC, just so we can paint the picture for everybody.
The ARC has been in Cedar Rapids for 72 years, and we provide programs and services for people who face life with a disability in all stages of life. So when you talk about the disability, we serve people with intellectual, developmental, and physical. And 2 years ago, we added a mental health component where we serve people who have one of the first three disabilities, but also a mental health diagnosis. And we have a team of 2 people and growing where we provide, sort of like social work, resource care for people to navigate life with dual diagnoses. So we serve about 600 families. The programs range from childcare and summer day programming, group respite, in-home respite, job training and placement, day habilitation. There's about a dozen different programs that we provide, and it's just the best place in the world to work.
It is. Well, and just mentioning the ARC March earlier, like that is such a great demonstration of all the people, all the clients you serve, their families, volunteers coming together to get to celebrate a day together. What is the ARC March? How did this get started?
Well, it started, I think this was our 28th year. And so it started way before I came, but it is a peer-to-peer fundraising event where we challenge our families and our friends and supporters and board members to make fundraising teams. And we spend about 2 months kind of beating the drum, telling our story, just asking people to contribute for fundraising. And when we have our actual ARC March, that's the last day of our ARC March. So it's sort of a culminating event. We call it a fundraiser and a friend raiser.
Nice.
And we returned to Lindale Mall last year. We'd taken a hiatus during COVID and post-COVID, and we're back at our Lindale Mall home. It's on a Saturday morning from 8 to 10, and it is a dance, and it is games and photo booths and mascots. And this year we had one of the Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball players come, which just thrilled so many of our participants. We have a few speeches and a mayoral proclamation, and then at the end we do a march, and it is a short march for many people. It's just basically a lap around the inside of the mall. But when you think about some of the folks we serve, making that march is a long march for a lot of folks. So it's just, I think as an observer, when I first came in, realizing the network, we think about we serve the participants, but we really are also serving their parents and their caregivers and their loved ones. And so that day is just joyful. It's lots of hugs and happy to see each other and, celebratory dancing and high fives. And it's just a great, great day. And everybody leaves with their cup filled and inspired and ready to go out and tell our story and tell the world how important these services are.
And the variety of services. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was so cool to see all the photos, and you mentioned just the connection. And I think that's one of the things that stands out to me for the ARC is just how many people, how many people you serve, but then the friends, the families, people that know somebody that, perhaps uses one of your services or multiple. You mentioned, the adult enrichment classes, the day habilitation. For someone, I guess, that's just kind of starting out in need of service, is it, do you come in and do an intake, or do clients usually come in and their families with or caregivers with a specific need in mind?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of layers to that answer, and I'll start with the bad news.
Mm-hmm.
We have a waiting list of 100 families.
Oh my gosh.
And that is just a huge bummer. We are working very, very hard. And unfortunately, the hiccup is we need more employees. We are right in line with every other nonprofit. No one comes to work at a nonprofit to get rich. And so the folks who are here are just some of the best people on the planet. And they're doing mission-driven work in an area that makes sense to them. So we have a waiting list. So people need to get on that. But to even complicate it a little bit more, in the state of Iowa, most of these programs and services we offer are paid for through Medicaid waiver services. Families get a stipend each month to help cover costs, and it might be additional therapies, it might be changes to car adaptions, it might be equipment, and it might be some of the specialized care. And you apply for that through the state of Iowa. And right now there is a 5-year wait to receive services. So we have a lot of people on that waiting list who have applied, and they're hoping it all comes together at the same time. Fun little side fact, the concept of Medicaid waivers grew from Cedar Rapids. In the late 70s, Julie Beckett and her daughter Katie was had a lot of disability issues and was destined at the time for a life in an institution because that was what the world offered. And her mom hitched her wagon to Ronald Reagan when he was running for president and told her story and said, not only would our lives be better if I could take care of my daughter, but I would save the state a lot of money if you gave me just a sliver of what it would cost to institutionalize her and let me keep her at home. And Ronald Reagan grabbed onto that story and that idea. And when he was elected president, he championed that as one of his first initiatives. And so it has changed nationwide how we provide care for people. Yeah. So about 80% of our funding comes from Medicaid waivers. I'm responsible to raise the rest in different ways. But if a family is needing care and is seeking some options and figuring out what's out there, we do encourage them to call the ARC. We have some really sharp people who can help them navigate. And the first thing they're going to say is, have you applied for Medicaid waivers? Mm-hmm. And if they haven't, we're going to guide them with how to go about doing that and get the ball rolling. And then we have some funds to help bridge gaps if people really, really need some services, to try to make, like extended day childcare expenses at the same affordability rate as mainstream childcare. We're the only disability childcare program in the region. And so if you have a child who has some severe needs and needs a smaller caretaker to child ratio, we're it. So we try very hard to make sure that we can receive all those folks, whether or not they have that waiver. And that's where donations come in. That helps Absolutely. Us in that arena.
There's definitely that having fun, getting to try new things, making friends, building just lifelong friends by being a part of the ARC. But then there's also, like to your point, Jenny, the core need of what someone needs to just exist every day, what their families or caregivers might need so that they can continue to work, they can help provide the best kind of life for their folks, their people. That's such a challenging balance. And that 5-year wait list just makes
your heart break.
I know I think we talked about this last year and it wasn't any better, and it certainly hasn't gotten any better as far as that's concerned. But for those that are fortunate enough to have your services, I love all the different branches. Can you talk a little bit about just the day habilitation and what that is?
And honestly, it's one of my favorite programs only because I get to interact with the folks that participate in it because they're right here in our building. So Monday through Friday, and this is a program that is growing and we're expanding rather quickly, and that's an area of focus. If people are looking for meaningful full-time work, give us a call because we're working very hard to get people off that wait list. But we bring in, I think we're close to like 60 or 70 adults Monday through Friday, and they break into small groups of like 6 to 7 people, and then one caregiver, and they go out as a group in the morning and do something.
Mhm.
And as a group, they decide what they want to do, and then all of the small groups come back together and have lunch here at the Arc. And then in the afternoon, they go do another outing, and then they come back and finish up their day. Those outings consist of a wide range of things. We volunteer, I think, at 6 or 7 area nonprofits. They do sorting at Habitat for Humanity. They dust the shelves at the library. They deliver Meals on Wheels. They deliver tidbits. So they are everything that they do is all about learning community living guidelines. So they might ride the bus and they might go to Dollar Tree or Walmart or Half Price Books. They might do some baking here and just, learn kitchen skills. We take art classes in conjunction with Eastern Iowa Arts Academy. I don't know. They go to coffee shops. They're very frequent downtown. Anyone that works downtown Cedar Rapids probably sees our groups walking around to different places.
I see them and I'm usually jealous because I'm like, I want to go wherever they're going because they're having so much fun.
They're always, yeah. And if anyone is needing a little validation, just make friends with our day hab people because the love that they give is just second to none. I love to go downstairs. I love, we have these 2 unique openings from first floor to second floor. From the second floor, I can look down and I can hear a lot of the activity, and it reminds me daily when I hear the laughter and the camaraderie and the giggle. There's just a community down there that all the people that work there have built. It's safe, it's happy, there's friendships. It's just good stuff. It's good stuff.
It is, and it's so meaningful, like the friendships and the connections that your clients are able to make is just second to none. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of the fun stuff, and other pieces are also fun, but just different kinds of fun. You have employment support, so opportunities to think about jobs and work. I love one of your upcoming events, Mental Health First Aid, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's all part of the mental health component that we've added. And Bailey Freeze is the gal that oversees the program, and she trains people from out in the community. Anyone's available, anyone's welcome to come take the mental health first aid training. But it's something that everyone here at the Arc is exposed to, and just like another level of compassionate care and arming the people that work here and the people in the community to be the best that they can be, so we can help everyone around us be the best that they can be.
I know as we wrap up, just what can we be doing as a community to help advocating for more resources to make sure that those 100 people that are on the wait list don't have to wait too long.
Yep.
Certainly continuing to be champions and advocates for just the Medicare, Medicaid, and just what we as the community can do. If somebody wants to volunteer, wants to learn more about how to get involved, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, we would love that. Reach out to me. My email address is jbosking, B as in boy, OSKING, at ARCECI, which stands for Arc of East Central Iowa.org. Send me a note. We don't have a ton of volunteer opportunities. They mainly fall with like big events. We do have a really big event coming up in August called Touch a Truck. It's going to be out at Kirkwood on April 9th. If people that are listening have access to a fun truck or rig, we want to have it. Last year, we did this experiment last year, and it ballooned, and it was so big and so joyful. And we had 40 large trucks ranging from military to agriculture to construction to transportation. It was so happy, and we're going to do it again and hopefully make it bigger and better. And that's an event that is not just for ARC families, that is open to the community. In fact, we want it to be like that. We want to tell people our story, maybe make people aware that we're here. There are a lot of people that go through life caring for a child with special needs, not realizing that there are resources, and they feel like they have to take it on themselves. And so this is an opportunity. The ARC or the Touch a Truck checks a lot of boxes. So yeah, people can volunteer and help us with that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. And Jenny, I know I've talked to you offline about this, as someone that has family members that have special needs. we need the ARC. We need to have that extension of support and network, not just for the family members and caregivers, but for the individuals that, they're building lives, they're building friendships that are going to be
they have a lot to offer
and impactful to them forever. So thank you so much for what you do. And thanks to everybody at the ARC. We love working with you. We love the fact that you're part of Gazette Gives Back.
Thank you. Deeply thank you. We are so grateful for all you do to support us.
Absolutely. Keep up the great work.
Thanks.
And thank you to everybody that's had a chance to tune in to another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. Got to give a shout out to our amazing presenting sponsor, Collins Community Credit Union. They keep this podcast series going strong. They keep the Gazette Gives Back as a program going strong throughout the year. I'm very grateful to them. And of course, grateful to our nonprofit community. I'm Quinn Pettifer, and we'll see you next time.